She told everyone I was overreacting, that I was just a quiet, harmless husband who'd never dare challenge her. People laughed, said I was too soft to notice anything. But the night I let our kids open her hotel door, that was the night the laughing stopped. Before I go on, make sure you hit subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment. Stories like this are real, raw, and they'll change how you look at trust forever. My name is Mark Dalton, 53 years old. Raised on the idea that a good man keeps his promises and handles problems without fireworks. I worked steady, coached little league, paid bills on time, kept my voice calm even when life got loud. My wife, well, the woman I thought I knew, Lauren, used to say she loved how grounded I was. Said she could always lean on me. 19 years of marriage, 2 kids, and a home full of routines that felt like anchors. Our son Jason, 14, taller every month. Our daughter Mia, 10, still drawing little notes she sticks on my toolbox in the garage. Life wasn't perfect, but it had a heartbeat, a rhythm I trusted. The story begins on a Thursday morning, the kind where the kitchen smells like toast and the news plays too quietly to understand. Jason was scrolling through something, Mia was pushing blueberries around her cereal, and I was trying to decide whether Lauren's silence that week was normal or something else entirely. She'd been away on a business trip in Phoenix for 3 days, corporate training, long presentations, networking dinners. All the things she said made her feel alive professionally. Usually she called the kids every night. Usually she sent photos, the hotel pool, a plate of room service salmon, the skyline at dusk. This time, a few clipped texts, a missed call at 1:07, a data meta, no explanation and no warmth. Just absence. I kept telling myself conferences were demanding, that she was tired, that it was all ordinary. But something quiet inside me pressed harder and harder until I couldn't ignore it. And then, right as I was cleaning Mia's bowl, an idea struck so abruptly I said it out loud without thinking. What if we fly out tomorrow and surprise Mom? Mia's face lit up instantly, bright as a spark. Really? Really go to her hotel? Jason, who speaks and shrugs half the time, actually nodded. Yeah, she'd love that. Their excitement hit me like permission. By noon I'd taken Friday off, booked flights, rented a car, and ordered a bouquet from a florist right near the Phoenix Hyatt. Mia wanted sunflowers because they look happy even when they're tired. I didn't argue. I texted Lauren too. Something simple, something to open the door for a normal conversation. Nothing. No response. Not even a delivered receipt. That should have rattled me more, but I pushed it down the way quiet men do. Friday arrived fast. At the airport, Mia carried her stuffed bunny under her arm. Jason checked our gate with the seriousness of a federal agent, and I pretended I wasn't checking my phone every 2 minutes. Still no replies from Lauren. Straight to voicemail. The flight felt longer than it was. I watched clouds drift under the wing, tried to settle my breathing, tried not to notice Jason studying my face like he could read whatever I wasn't saying. When we landed, the heat of Phoenix hit us instantly, dry and sharp. We picked up the flowers, a bright, cheerful bunch of yellow faces staring up at me like they believed in good news. I kept telling the kids their mom would cry when she saw them, that she'd hug them so tight they'd squeal, that it would be the surprise of the year. I said it like I believed it, like the words themselves could make it true. The Hyatt lobby gleamed, polished floors, cool air, tall palms and planters that looked too expensive to touch. I told Jason and Mia to wait on the couches by the fountain while I got her room number. My hands were steady. My voice was steady. My heart wasn't. Hi, I told the front desk clerk, a young woman with a polite smile. I'm looking for my wife's room, Lauren Dalton. She typed, paused, then nodded. Mrs. Dalton is in room 824. Would you like me to call up? Something in her tone, not the words, just the tone, felt careful. Yes, I said. She dialed. It rang, and rang, and rang. No answer, she said softly. She's probably getting ready. I told her. Could I have a key? Our kids want to surprise her. Another pause, a hesitation, a breath. Then she printed the key card. Of course, sir. I thanked her, walked back toward the elevators, and felt the first rip in the world I thought I knew. Everything after that moved quietly. Too quietly. The elevator ride. The carpeted hallway. The bouquet in my hand. Room 824, waiting like a held breath that I slid the key card. The light turned green. The door unlocked with a soft click, and I stepped inside. The room felt dim the moment I crossed the threshold, like the lights themselves were hiding something. I didn't move at first. I just stood there with the key card still warm in my hand, listening to the low hum of the air conditioner and the soft rustle of Mia's sunflowers against the plastic wrap. Then my eyes adjusted, and the pieces started arranging themselves in ways I didn't want to acknowledge. Lauren's blazer was tossed over an armchair, not draped neatly the way she always did it. Her heels were by the desk, one tipped over on its side like someone kicked it off without thinking. Her suitcase lay half open on the carpet, clothes spilling out in a rush of color. None of that meant disaster on its own. People get sloppy on business trips. People rush. People forget to clean up. But then I saw something that didn't belong to her at all. A navy dress shirt, definitely a man's, crumpled across the foot of the bed. Black dress shoes beside the nightstand, polished but well worn. And through the open bathroom door, a bottle of men's cologne sitting right next to Lauren's makeup bag like it belonged there. A quiet pressure built inside me, the kind that doesn't explode outward but locks everything tight. My fingers curled around the sunflowers. Their bright yellow petals looked painfully out of place in that dim room. I set them down gently on the desk, trying to keep my hands from trembling. That's when I saw her phone lying there, unlocked, face up, a message glowing on the screen. If your husband calls, ignore it. I'll keep you late. I didn't blink, didn't breathe. I just stared at that little symbol, the sickening playfulness of it. For a moment, the world narrowed to the shape of that winking face. I placed the phone back exactly where it had been, not slamming it, not throwing it, just placing it down like a man putting away the last illusion he'd ever held. Then, faintly, I heard voices, too, muffled, getting closer. I stepped to the side, facing the window, as if the safest place to stand was anywhere that wasn't the doorway. The latch clicked. The door opened. Lauren walked in wearing nothing but a white towel, her hair damp, her cheeks flushed, laughing softly at something behind her. The laugh died mid-breath when she saw me. Her mouth fell open, her eyes widening, her body freezing like she just stepped into ice water. "Mark?" she whispered, clutching the towel. Behind her, a man stepped in, also in a towel, drying his hair. His expression shifted from casual to confused to horrified in a single heartbeat. Lauren didn't cry. She didn't collapse. She didn't beg. She went straight to irritated disbelief, her voice sharp and tight. "Why didn't you call first?" she hissed, as if I'd ruined a meeting, not walked into the truth she'd been hiding. A switch flipped inside me, clean, precise, final. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't demand explanations. I didn't look at him. I reached behind me, picked up the bouquet, and walked to the open door. "Kids," I called down the hallway, my voice steady. "Come say hi to your mother." Lauren's expression shattered. Mark, no, wait. Please don't." But Mia came running, her little backpack bouncing, her smile wide, her card clutched in her hand. "Mommy, we surprised you." Jason followed, stopping short when he saw the man in the towel. His jaw tightened. his eyes narrowing in a way no boy his age should have to learn. Mia held out one of the sunflowers. I picked this one for you. Lauren couldn't hide anything. Not her shock, not her guilt, not the panic rising in her eyes. The man behind her tried to step back, as if the shadows might swallow him whole. I handed Lauren the rest of the bouquet, placing it firmly into her shaking hands. He sent you a message, I said quietly. You might want to keep your phone out of sight. She looked toward the desk, then at Jason's clenched fists, then at Mia's bright, innocent face. For the first time since I'd met her, she had no words. I zipped Mia's backpack, nodded toward the hallway, and said, "Kids, grab your things." The man opened his mouth like he wanted to explain himself. "Look, man," he started. "This is awkward. I didn't know she was—" I lifted a hand without turning toward him. "Don't." He shut up instantly. Jason crossed his arms, every muscle in him coiled tight. Mia looked between us, confused, but sensing something was terribly wrong. Lauren's voice broke as she whispered, "Mark, please." I didn't answer her. I just guided Jason and Mia toward the elevator. The hallway felt endless and silent except for their footsteps. When the elevator doors opened into the lobby, I expected emptiness, maybe a few travelers checking in. Instead, I walked my kids straight into the next blow of the night. There, standing near the front desk with their suitcases in hand, were Lauren's parents, Howard and Denise. They had come to surprise her, too. They turned, smiling at first, until they saw our faces. And then Lauren stepped out of the second elevator behind us. Hair wet, expression shattered, and behind her, half hidden, the man in the towel. Howard's whole face changed. 1 second was all he needed. Denise put a hand over her mouth. Lauren's eyes filled with terror. Jason stared stiffly ahead. Mia held her sunflower like a shield. I put my hands on my kids' shoulders and said one thing as we walked toward the exit. "We're going home." We walked out of that hotel into the warm Phoenix night, but it felt colder than any winter back home. The parking lot buzzed with distant traffic, a jet overhead, the clicking of our rental car unlocking. All of it sounded far away, like we were moving underwater. Mia leaned against my chest as I carried her. Her fingers curled into my shirt, her sunflower drooping in her hand. Jason walked beside me, stiff and silent, trying to look strong but unable to mask the way his jaw kept tightening. I opened the car, buckled Mia in gently. She blinked up at me through tired eyes. "Daddy, why did Mommy look scared?" she whispered. I smoothed her hair and told her we'd talk tomorrow, but right now she needed rest. Her eyelids dropped before I finished the sentence. Jason slid into the front seat without a word. I drove us toward the airport with no music, no news, just the hum of the engine and the kind of silence that feels too heavy to break. Halfway there, Jason finally spoke, his voice low, shaky but controlled. "Dad, are we going home? Like, home?" I didn't turn my head, didn't push him to explain what he was really asking. "Yeah," I said softly, "right now." He swallowed, looked out the window, and asked the question I'd been avoiding even in my own thoughts. "Do we have to come back for her?" The words hit with a quiet finality. I didn't hesitate. "No," I said, "we don't." He nodded once, slowly, and pressed his forehead to the glass. We booked the earliest flight out, a red-eye. The gate agent asked politely if something unexpected came up. I just nodded. She didn't push for details. I think she could read enough from our faces. On the plane, Mia slept across my arm, her sunflower crushed between us. Jason didn't sleep at all, earbuds in, but I could see from the dim glow of the seat lights he wasn't listening to anything. His thoughts were too loud. Mine were worse. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Lauren standing in that doorway, towel clutched, the man behind her, the look on Jason's face, the confusion in Mia's eyes. By the time we landed back home, dawn was breaking, soft, pale light creeping over the horizon, as if even the sun didn't know what kind of day it was stepping into. I carried Mia to the car, her bunny tucked under her arm. When we walked into the house, the familiarity felt almost wrong. The walls, the pictures, the furniture. It all looked the same, but the life inside it had shifted forever. Mia woke up later on the couch as I made breakfast. "Daddy, where's Mommy?" she asked, rubbing her eyes with her small fist. I hesitated just long enough for her to notice, then said carefully, "Mommy has to finish her work trip. She'll be home later." It wasn't a lie, but it wasn't the truth she deserved yet. After breakfast, Jason went upstairs. Mia curled up with a cartoon. I sat at the kitchen table staring at my phone, waiting, listening to the heavy quiet. For hours, there was nothing from Lauren. Then, around noon, her name finally lit up the screen. I didn't answer. She called again. I declined. The phone buzzed over and over. Texts, voicemails, excuses, apologies. I didn't open any of them. I wasn't ready to hear her voice. Around 5 o'clock, Jason called down from upstairs. "Dad? Someone's outside." My chest tightened. Not in fear, but in a heavy, resigned way. I opened the door. Lauren stood there on the porch, hair pulled back, coat still wrinkled from travel, her face blotchy from crying. A rideshare idled behind her. "Mark, please," she whispered. "Can we talk? Just us." Her eyes searched my face, desperate, trembling. She tried to look put together, but everything about her was unraveling. "Not today," I said. Her voice cracked. "Where are the kids?" "Inside. They're fine." "Can I see them?" "No," she recoiled like I'd pushed her. "Mark, they're my children." "And you're their mother," I said evenly. "But today isn't the day." She looked down, shoulders folding. "I made a mistake," she whispered, tears forming again. "A stupid, awful mistake. Please, don't shut me out." I shook my head slowly. "I didn't shut you out, Lauren. You walked out on us before we ever showed up at that hotel." She covered her face with her hands. "Please let me talk to you. Please." "Tomorrow," I said. "Not today." She nodded, defeated, and walked back to the waiting car. That night, after Mia went to bed early, Jason sat beside me on the couch. He didn't look at me when he spoke. "Is she coming back?" "She'll be back in the city," I said carefully. "But things are different now. Are you getting divorced?" His voice didn't shake, but I could tell he was bracing himself. "Maybe," I answered softly. "We'll figure it out." He nodded slowly, pulled his knees up, leaned against me. "I don't want to live with her if she's with that guy." "You won't," I said. "I promise." The next day, Lauren and I sat across from each other at the kitchen table. No kids, no interruptions, just truth. She cried, tried to explain, tried to paint everything as a moment of weakness. But the truth wasn't a moment, it was a choice. And she made it. I listened. Then I told her I was filing. She didn't fight. She just lowered her head and nodded. The weeks that followed were a quiet storm. Papers, arrangements, conversations no family ever wants to have. Jason stayed with me. Mia spent time with both of us, though even she began asking fewer questions about her mother and more about what cookies we could bake together. One evening, 3 weeks after the hotel, Mia climbed onto my lap while I read on the couch. "Daddy," she asked softly, fiddling with her bunny's ear, "is Mommy still in trouble?" I wrapped my arm around her. "Sweetheart, Mommy made an adult mistake. But you and your brother? You're my whole world. That's never going to change. She nodded sleepily and rested her head on my chest. And in that quiet moment, something inside me finally loosened. Like a weight I'd been carrying for years had shifted just enough for me to breathe again. Not forgiveness, not relief, just clarity. A future that belonged to me and my children. If you've listened all the way to the end, make sure you subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment. Your support helps me tell more stories that matter.